bam, 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 to the booty, oh Rudy, to the booty, oh Rudy, bam, bam, bam.
Ah, yes. Summers in Santa Cruz. The blazing sun, white sand, tan bodies, and ice-cold drafts of a beverage destined to become a national pastime. Those beaches are where the original wine cooler was born, and what people like to recall after a four-pack in the hot sun. But there's another side to the real stuff, and you're about to get a taste of it. The true story of the first 5 years of a phenomenon called California Cooler. The year was 1980. The place, exotic Lodi, California. In a condemned labor camp named Hog Hollow, two noticeably untanned but undaunted men named Stu Bewley and Mike Crete set up shop. Their mission, research and develop the perfect wine cooler, using the most modern tools and bottling techniques. With the help of the University of Pacific Marketing Department, a better name, and the fact that they paid no rent, they were soon flush with success. In the process, Hog Hollow was renamed Vintage Towers. But being savvy businessmen, Mike and Stu still held all supplier and customer meetings at a nearby Caro's restaurant. By mid-1981, the decision was made to move to more palatial surroundings. A warehouse in one of Lodi's finer business sections. Those were productive times. Using a hand filler procured from a reputable local supplier, production soared to 150 cases per day, labeled by hand, foiled by hand, and quality controlled by passing around a bottle or two. The hours were long, but they never dragged, thanks to the soothing sounds of KZAP radio on the boombox. And by August 15th, 1981, when California Cooler finally got its license and delivered its first case ever, there was only one problem left to surmount, one that would continue to plague the company for years. How to keep up with demand. In the winter of 1982, that hurdle led Stu Bewley to Los Angeles. With his check-writing hand shaking uncontrollably, he bought a whopping $13,000 worth of used bottling equipment. Sure, it was rusted. Sure, the bearings were shot. Sure, it shook, devoured grease, and broke down with aggravating regularity. But before it finally died, it churned out nearly 30,000 cases per month, allowing California Cooler in the winter of '83 to invest in more used equipment, really high-quality junk, affectionately known as Line 1. That spring marked our expansion to new quarters in Stockton, and the number of employees soaring from 75 to 483. People willing to leave good, solid jobs and come to work for us. Some said they were crazy. Some still do. But before long, we had plenty of company, as production shot from 30,000 to 500,000 cases per month. We were growing at an astounding rate. In Stockton, we thought it would take 10 years to outgrow Building 1. It took 4 months. Distributors everywhere were clamoring for California Cooler. Cases came right off the line, onto pallets, and into waiting trucks. During early '84, people were working around the clock to install lines 2 and 3 in a whole new building and keep the existing line going. It was a time for heroes, people giving their all to a company undergoing explosive growth. But a company that, remarkably, still felt like a family, with nicknames like Cause, Woody, Surfer, Wiener, Mississippi, Old Man River, Cookie, and Clutch. And a growing number of fairer faces with names like Opus, Rohanda, Flame, and Firecracker. Consumer demand took us national in '84, with sales shooting from 2.4 to 8.8 million cases. The wine giants called us a fad and waited smugly for a crash. The crash never came, but the giants did. And in 1985, the David in Stockton faced the two-headed Goliath in Modesto. To even the odds, we went looking for a partner with financial resources and industry experience, someone who valued our employees and would let Cooler be cooler. It was a perfect fit with Brown-Forman, although they had a funny way of talking, and frankly, still do. But it gave California Cooler the muscle we needed to meet the competitive challenge and keep expanding. Today, we're all over the world, still riding the wave that started just 5 or so years ago. First on the beaches of Santa Cruz, and then in an exotic place called Lodi. If there's anything that all those long days and endless nights of mixing, bottling, shipping, selling, and servicing taught us, it's this. No matter how big California Cooler gets, we'll always remain a small company. A company that works, acts, and feels like a family. Because that's the California Cooler's spirit.